Hi everyone, my name is Sok. I am a Masters player and I'm here with my girlfriend Shu. She is currently a silver player. Say hi.
Hello.
We're here to just talk about a few things to help her improve, and hopefully these things will help you guys improve as well. Specifically today we're going to talk about this augment, Build Different. This is an augment that my girlfriend has seen multiple times while looking for augments, and she has never taken it because she feels that it's too complicated and it's too hard to play, and it's something that only high-level players would pick. I'm here to tell her that that's not true. This is actually a great augment for lower levels, and it's very good for silver, gold, bronze, etc. And let's first look at the trait itself. What does it do? So what it says is that your units with no traits active gains anywhere from 300 to 600 health and 45 to 75% attack speed. This is amazing, to be frank, right? So that means when you pick this trait at stage 3-1 or 2-1, excuse me, you're getting half a Warmonk's of value. If you build a Warmonk, you get 600 health. You also get 12% max health, but 600 health, you're getting half of that at the start of the game. That means every character that you have has half a Warmonk's. In addition, you're getting 45% attack speed, which is the equivalent of having a Gwynsu's, and also stacking it up by 35, so 7 auto attacks. This is all at the very start of the game. And it only gets stronger as the game goes on, because by the end of the game, everyone on your team has a Warmonk's, and everyone on your team has essentially a Ginsu blade with 13 stacks. This is, of course, comes at a detriment. You no longer have traits, which is something that will make you weaker. However, what it does allow you to do is to play a board of strong characters. There's a lot of cases where you might get a 2-star Morgana and a 2-star Amumu, and these two characters just do not fit together, and you decide, do I want to go Watchers and sell the Morgana, or do I want to go some type of Visionary Black Rose and sell the Amumu? If you're playing Build Different, you don't have to choose. You can put both of them on the board, and they both get stronger, and it allows you to play a board of 2 stars that are much stronger. The other thing that you can do with this is you can put in pairs. There's a lot of times where I get 2 Ezreal at the very start of the game, and it's really painful because if I sell one of the Ezreals, I'm losing the opportunity for a 2-star Ezreal. But if I keep both Ezreals, one Ezreal is just sitting on the bench, and that's money that could be going towards interest, that's money that could be going towards leveling up. It just feels like it's wasted. But with Build Different, it's completely fine to stick in 2 Ezreals. In fact, later on we'll talk about it, but it's actually a good idea to stick in, for example, 2 Elises, because they have really good CC, they can stun half of the board, and having 2 of them in there will make you a lot stronger. So again, you get to put in pairs, which is really, really good. And then following these 2 things, it allows you to win streak. Again, at the start of the game, you basically have half a Warmonk's and a Ginsu blade that has 7 stacks. That's amazing. That's very strong. You're going to win. And when you win a lot, you build a lead. You're able to level up quicker. You're able to get in your 4 cost and 5 cost. And you're able to be extremely strong. And then finally, because you're not building to any specific trait, all you're trying to do is play a tank. A good tank, and that's it. And 1 attack speed carry, and that's it. So for example, at level 3, maybe you put in a Maddie. At level 4 or 5, you find a Zeri, immediately sell the Maddie, put in a Zeri. Level 6, 7, you find a Gameplank, you sell the Zeri, you put in a Gameplank. Frontline is the same thing. Start with Aurelia, 2-star Aurelia, switch over to, any Bruiser, and then switch to a Watcher. It's completely fine. You are no longer tied to a line that you are forced to play. So let's look at what this looks like in game. Okay. So if we jump into a game, this is just a random game that I have. But the one thing that I want to show you is the biggest benefit for Build Different. One of the hardest questions with Build Different is, what can I put in next? Because your goal is to put in something that does not have a trait, and that's not very intuitive. But I'm here to tell you that TFT actually has something that is extremely helpful, and that is this team planner right here. So at any point in the game, you can go into the team planner, you can hit snapshot, and it will copy your exact board. Let's say this is your board. It's not. I'm using it as an example. Let's pretend this is your board. You just hit snapshot. You want to figure out what you want to put in next. Well, that's easy. You can come down here. Let's say you're likely to hit a 3 cost. So you can go through. You can just click them. I click on Loris. Loris gives me Sentinel. Yeah. So if I put in Loris, I need to take out Leona. If I put in Cassiopeia, it gives me Dominator. If I put in Cassiopeia, I need to take out Blitz. If I hit Ezreal, look at that. I still don't have an active trait. This easily tells me a next character I can put in without putting in an extra trait. Scar gives me traits. Gameplank does not give me trait. That's a good one to put in. Smeech does not give me traits. If I have a bunch of items that are like Bloodthirsters and such, Smeech would be great to put in. Kog'Maw, Nami, etc. So at a higher level, there are obviously optimized units that are much stronger than other units. But if you're playing this comp at gold, silver, bronze, lower levels, the main thing you want to focus on is one attack speed unit and one good tank. Because again, think about it, this gives you a free Ginsu's with 13 stacks by the end of the game. So if you're looking at early game, you definitely want something like a Draven or a Maddie or a Lux, actually. Lux benefits a lot from attack speed because it allows her to cast faster, which allows her to get more shields onto people as part of her ability. So at least in terms of one cost, these are good starting ones. Of course, if you have a 2-star Morgana or a 2-star Vex, those are completely fine as well. In terms of frontline, any tank will really do. Ideally, you have something like Aurelia or Trundle or Singe. These are all fine at the very start of the game. And then eventually, you want to replace them. The whole point of Build Different is you're not tied to a comp. You're not tied to any specific trait. You replace things as necessary. If I have a Maddie at the start. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You had something to add?
Yeah, so in that little combination you actually did have 2 Sentinels in there. So I guess early game, would that be okay, or would you probably just want to avoid that throughout the whole thing?
So that's actually a good question. There are traits late game that are okay to put in. So if we scroll down to the 6 cost, for example, Victor, Mel, and Warwick, they all have their unique traits, right? Banish Mage, Blood Hunter, Machine Herald. But these units are so good that even though they're losing a Warmog and they're losing a Guinsoo with 13 stacks, they're good to put in, okay? But early game, no. Early game, you want to make sure you try to stay away from traits as much as possible. There are things that you can put in certain occurrences. So for example, Emissary is arguably okay to put in. If you get a very, very early Garen itself is pretty powerful. So you're getting Emissary bonus, you're losing Build Different value on Garen, but you're still getting out everyone else. And Garen is also buffing up everyone else, okay? But to start, I was just giving some examples of characters. I'm not saying to put these 3 in together, right? So if I'm playing if I'm playing for Maddie, I would not put in a Steb, right? I would not put in a Zeri, for example, okay? But if I have a Maddie and then I found a Zeri, I would sell the Maddie and I would put in the Zeri as an upgrade. And if I find a Gameplank, I would sell the Zeri and I would put in the Gameplank, assuming it doesn't break the rest of your comp too much. So for example, if I had like a Trundle, I don't know, Leona, Zeri, Vladimir, and Ziggs, or I guess Ziggs doesn't work. Let's see what will work here. Urgot, right? And my Trundle is my primary tank, and he's 2-star, and he has all his items. Then I would consider whether to put in the Gangplank or not. I would probably still do it and remove the Trundle for something else. That actually brings up a good point. When do I replace a 2-star with a 1-star? Let's say you had a 2-star Maddie and you just found a 1-star Gangplank. Or even for that matter, let's say you found a 1-star Twitch. When do you decide I'm going to sell my 2-star Maddie and put in a 1-star Gangplank? An easy way to do it is by just looking at their HP. And the best way to do that is by essentially pulling the characters onto your bench. Specifically, you want them on your bench because while they're on the field, they get bonuses from any traits and any other thing that will give them additional health. And the main thing to look at is just their HP. Compare their HP. Again, this is like not the best rule, but it's a good rule at lower level to judge. So if you look at 2 champions and one champion has the higher HP, even though it is a lower star, it's probably worth it to put that champion in. So in this case, if I had a 2-star Maddie and a 1-star Gangplank, I compare their HP and I put whichever one I can in. Okay. The other thing to consider here is Maddie has kind of capped out, right? You can only make it to a 2-star Maddie. 3-star Maddie is not really realistic because you're trying to level up as much as you can. So it might be worthwhile to sell the Maddie, put in the Gangplank, because you can find 2 more Gangplanks and continue to scale, right? So that's the main thing here. As you're leveling up, as you're getting stronger and stronger characters, start replacing them. Maybe I no longer have the Leona, but now I put in a Elise. I guess Elise is not a good example here. I put in Alawi, and this will allow me to maintain build different. So let's talk about main carries. What is the eventual goal? How you get there is you just put in stronger and stronger characters, but eventually you want to arrive at a board of 4 to 5 costs. Okay. If we look at the champions that are 4 to 5 costs, we want to say, what is our main carry? And our main carry is generally something that has good attack speed scaling because, again, build different gives you good attack speed. So the ones that kind of work super well are these 4, right? We have Corki, Twitch, LeBlanc, and Jace. Corki, obvious, he just attacks a lot, so attack speed is good. Twitch, again, attacks a lot. Attack speed is good. LeBlanc is actually special. She is a ability power champion, but how her skill works is she sends out a chain and then she auto attacks 3 times very quickly. And her auto attacks deal a lot of damage. So here she works super well. And Jace as well, he just auto attacks a lot. It may seem like Caitlyn would be a great option for build different, but she actually does not auto attack that much. She auto attacks until she ults, and then she enters her special stance, and she stays in her special stance for, I believe, 5 seconds. So that's a lot of time that's not auto attacking. Okay. So this is what you want to build your backline around. You want to make sure you give them items that are AD heavy and attack speed heavy. And you want to try to aim towards bows, swords, fist. You can also do a rod with your bow to make a Gwynsus. That stacks very well with build different because you already have so much attack speed, which means you're building up your Gwynsus even faster. In terms of frontline, you want to look for tanks, okay? So what that means is Dr. Mundo, Alawi, Elise, and Vi, okay? So out of these 4, Dr. Mundo and Alawi are the primary tanks. Their whole goal is to do as much tanking as possible. And then you have Elise and you have Vi, which are both very good, what's the word? CC bots, okay? So they can stun people in the back, they can stun people in the front, they can essentially fight your enemies and block them for long enough for your backline to kill everyone, okay? And then, of course, within the 5 cost, we don't have too many good tanks, but then we move to the 6 cost. If you find something like a Warwick, you want to put him in, even though he does have Blood Hunter. I would say the order is just Victor is the best, then Mel, then Warwick, but all of them are very good, okay? So generally, you want to build out a team. Let's just do a mock team, right? So if we have Mundo, Alawi, Elise, Vi, Corky, and then we can put in Twitch as well. And we can put in, I guess Jace would not work. But if we put in like a LeBlanc and how many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is 7, right? Let's say you're level 8 and you don't have anything else to put in. What do you think you would put in at this stage?
So are you thinking putting in a certain 4 or 5 cost or lower than that?
Okay, that's a good point. Yes, you can put in a lower cost, like a 3 cost. Let's see which 3 cost will work here. Okay, you can put in a Smeech, for example, and that would not break build different. But what I was looking for is you can put in another 4 cost, another copy of an existing 4 cost. Okay, normally you don't want to put in 2 Elises, because if you put in 2 Elise, I don't know what it is, but if you put in 2 of them, you're losing a spot that would make a trait. But we don't care about traits. We actually want to avoid traits, which means if I put in a second Elise, all that means is I stun more people. If I put in a second Vi, all that means is I stun more people. If I put in a Laoyi, more tank. If I put in a Dr. Mundo, more tank, right? So this is different from other styles because it allows you to put in duplicates of existing champions, okay? So the whole idea for this gameplay is during the start of the game, you can get as many 2 stars as possible. You want to hold any pairs that you can, right? And you want to build out 2 stars. You want to add in something for the back line, such as a Maddie. You want to add in something for the front line, such as Aurelia or Darius. And then you just want to fill it out with other characters that perform some type of CC, okay? So for example, Zyra will stun people for you a little bit. Rel will steal armor from your opponent so that she's stronger and your opponent is weaker. If you get something like Ronnie, she's like a really, really good CC person that will stun someone for a while. So instead of looking at traits now, you're looking at the quality of the units, and your whole goal is to build units that have strong spells or can do a lot of damage or can be a really good tank. Okay? So again, the final board will look something like this with mix and matched in additional copies, or you can throw in 2 and 3 star. Ideally, it consists of mostly 4 and 5 star. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. This is just a quick guide for how to play build different in lower ELOs. This is not the ultimate guide for how to play it perfectly, but as someone who's in silver, gold, bronze, etc., I hope this gives you the confidence to pick this trait when normally you might think it's exclusively for people of higher ELO. I guess, Shu, do you have any thoughts after I taught you about build different?
I mean, it's all definitely looks a lot more possible looking at all the details a bit more. It's good to think of it in a way of the items, Warmogs and Ginsus, definitely, that you thinking of it as you already start with half of a Warmog, basically, is already a very nice start, and you start with multiple stacks of the attack speed already. It's definitely helpful, and yeah, maybe I'll give it a try if I get that augment.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad that was helpful. Well, hopefully the next game you get it and I can watch you play build different for the first time. For those of you watching this video, thank you for watching. If you have any thoughts or comments, please let me know. If you felt like there was something that I missed, please also let me know. I would love to learn how to play Build Different better myself. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.